Y'all, I want to get on here and come clean about something. When I was in like the 3rd or 4th grade, I had a friend and her name was Precious Howard. Now, when I was like in elementary school and the first part of middle school, I didn't really have a lot of friends because I was a teacher's pet and I used to always cry whenever I got in trouble and stuff. But me and Precious was cool until she started telling people that I smelled like pee, and she started telling people that I was stuffing my bra with tissue, which I actually was stuffing my bra with tissue. But why would you let my secret out? And I got my revenge, but I played the long game. One day, I can't remember if this was 3rd or 4th grade, but I know our teacher was mad as hell that basically nobody was doing their homework at school. So she had said, like the day before this class, she was like, whoever don't bring their homework in tomorrow, I'm calling your parent and I'm telling your parent that you didn't do your homework. And I'm calling them during class. So that night, I purposely didn't do my homework. And when I got to school the next day, I got there early too. She had her homework. She was the first person to put her homework in the homework bin. She put her homework in the homework bin, and she went to the bathroom. When she went to the bathroom, I went, got her homework out the homework bin. I scratched out her name at the top, then erased it. I scratched it out at the top first so that you couldn't see like what was written under it. Scratched her name out the top, erased her name. Now, if you know Precious got some neat handwriting. Like, she had the neatest handwriting for forever. So, boom, scratched out her name and carefully replaced it with Tyler Patterson. Then I waited and I waited and I waited. Some more people came, turned their homework in. I turned her homework in, which was not my homework, put it in the middle of the stack, and then boom. Like 8:30, 9 o'clock, the teacher starts going through the homework bin, and the only person that didn't turn their homework in that day was Precious Howard. And she was looking crazy. I did turn my homework in, and the teacher was like, well, where is it? And her shit wasn't in there.
I'm about to tell you about the time I got catfished by one of my close friends. So it was in 7th grade. Ask FM was very popular at that time. So somebody started asking me questions on Ask FM, and they were flirting with me. In my middle school brain at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, this must be the love of my life. It has to be. So we're flirting back and forth on Ask FM. Obviously, I don't know who this is because it's anonymous. So they're asking me questions, and this goes on for days, and I could never get them to confess who they were to me. We were flirting, and I can't believe I'm about to say this next part. Essentially, we started a relationship over Ask FM. Not too much on me now, though, because I was in 7th grade. I have a stupid little middle schooler brain, so I'm like, oh my gosh, an anonymous boyfriend on Ask FM. So this goes on for a couple weeks at the most, and they'll send me things like, saw you at school today, you looked beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, I get out of them that their name is Cody Johnson. And then, eventually, I talk to them from moving from Ask FM to giving me their Kik information. Kik. So they give me their Kik username, and we start talking on there. By now, we have a relationship. And we're saying some pretty intimate things on there, if you know what I mean. Stuff a 7th grader should not be saying to somebody they don't even know. So I'm continuing my relationship with this person, and one day I'm sitting in one of my classes, and I'm sitting across from one of my good friends who I've known for years. And I don't remember how the conversation went or what got it started, but I remember just talking to them, and then I reached over and I just kind of snatched their phone. I had like something in the back of my mind just telling me grab their phone. So I grabbed her phone, and she was trying to get it back from me. And then I clicked on Kik, the app. And tell me why I noticed, she just happens to have the same exact username and profile picture as my boyfriend. Now, you definitely can't blame this on me, too, because I'm dumb. Who starts an anonymous relationship over Ask FM and never tries to meet up with the person once or get a picture of what they look like? So then it's revealed it was my friend this whole time, and we had said some pretty intimate stuff to each other, like I said. Immediately, I stopped talking to the friend, switched tables, moved over. She sends me a text saying, it was just so annoying seeing you happy every day, blah, blah, blah. I have these demons inside of me that just want to make people unhappy because I'm unhappy myself. And that's the story about one of the times I got catfished on Ask FM. You can blame me, and also it's partially to blame all the Wattpad books I was reading too.
I almost got beat up by a 50-year-old lady this weekend, so here's the story time. Saturday morning, me and my friend decided to meet my mom 3 hours away to go to my boyfriend's hockey game that night, and so that's exactly what we did. And then 7 p.m. that night, we went to my boyfriend's hockey game. And we were sitting next to this lady that was just so incredibly rude the whole entire game. Like, at the beginning, my boyfriend scored and I was cheering on him. And she goes, hey, you know you guys can move seats, by the way. And we were just like, okay, that was kind of rude. When she said the first comment, we just completely brushed it off. Well, then at the end of the game, my boyfriend's team had won. And she looks over at us again and goes, y'all can go home now. And my mom completely ignored her. And I kind of look at her and I was like, what? I didn't even think she was talking to us. And she said, you effing heard me, y'all can go home now. And at that point, since she was being rude to me, my mom looked over at her and goes, look, we're just here to support another player. There's no need for this. And that is all my mom said. And I thought that was honestly super nice. Well, then the lady says a really mean comment to my mom. And the comments was about our appearance, not even about hockey. So what the point of her saying anything was, I'm honestly not sure. And when she says stuff to my mom, that is what pissed me off. Because you can say whatever you want to me, but you are not going to talk about my mom next to me. So she's sitting there trying to argue with me. And I'm like, are you seriously going to sit here and argue with a teenager? Well, then her husband starts getting in the middle. And he's like, shut the F up, Blondie. And I'm like, sir, your wife was the one who just started an argument. Like, and he goes, she didn't even say anything. Pardon me? After that, we decided to just walk away because it was not worth it. And I honestly think if we didn't walk away, I probably would have jumped on top of the lady because she was being very rude. But yeah, that's how I almost got in a fight with a 40, 50-year-old woman this weekend. And let's hope that never happens again. Bye.
Get ready with me while I tell you about my prom experience. Okay, I was homeschooled, but my friend had asked me if I wanted to go to prom with her. I said yes, but the only thing is that she told me she's going with a group of people and that they all have a date. So since I was homeschooled, she was like, I'm gonna help you find a date. So then one day she texted me and she's like, guess what? I think I found somebody. It was one of her friends who was also looking for a date. So this guy and I actually started texting each other and we ended up meeting up twice before prom. We just hung out, got to know each other. That way we didn't go as complete strangers. So then the day of prom arrives and everything was going good. We had gone to take pictures. That went well. Okay, after taking photos, we had gone out to eat. And once we got to the restaurant, all of the couples, like the dates, sat next to each other. And he had sat at the opposite end of the table from where I was. And then after we were done eating, everyone was deciding like who was gonna go in what car. This guy had his own car, and instead of asking me his date, oh, do you wanna come with me to the prom, he took another girl. The girl that he took was with us, and she also had a date, so they had both left us for each other. Once we got to the prom, the guy that I was supposed to be there with did not show up for like hours later. And I ended up finding out it's because him and that girl were in his car. After he arrived hours later, I never saw him. I just heard that he was there. And yeah, so basically my prom date ditched me.